Hi there, this is my final for oceanography Capstone project. I'm doing Hurricane Maria and the impact it had on Puerto Rico. My name is Danny Olson. So Maria was a crazy strong hurricane in 2017, Cat 5. If you remember, there was two hurricanes that season that were very big, Irma and Maria. So it made landfall on the 20th. It started forming on the 14th, 13th of September. It was named a tropical storm by the National Hurricane System on the 16th of September. So the National Hurricane System forecasted this storm, but an island like Puerto Rico, you see in the bottom right image there that it's a sitting duck. It's really got no protection, and hurricanes build over water, big open water in the ocean, always going east to west with these systems, very low pressure. So the island is pretty much screwed. You can see these stats down low. Sustained winds of 64 miles per hour with gusts to 113 with a high wind of 174, and those measurements were taken in San Juan, Puerto Rico, the capital. So Puerto Rico, the territory itself, is part of the United States. They're American citizens, so they're free to go to the mainland back and forth, which, of course, a lot of Puerto Ricans wanted to do after this hurricane. But it does depend on its own government, it has its own constitution, and it's important because decisions made in the United States mainland uh, discuss how much funding Puerto Rico should get based on which happens most times are natural disasters. Do you need to aid them? Do you not need to? How much are you going to give them? There's politics involved there, both sides. And in my take on it is the United States, before getting into this whole territory deal with Puerto Rico, you got to know that it's a vulnerable island to natural disasters. I think you need to aid the country if a big storm hits like Maria. It is also the smallest island in the Caribbean. Damage done to Maria by Maria to Puerto Rico was a lot. Many people lost their homes, tens of thousands. If you look there, even nowadays, they have blue tarps over their roofs, windows blown out in the capital. They board them up. They board up unfinished windows during hurricane season because they don't really know when the next one is going to hit. The storm was kind of a bigger part two of Irma that hit the island a little bit just weeks before, so it really compounded it. You can see there 2,975 total deaths happened. Improvements have been made. They actually now have warehouses for natural disasters so the citizens can go there if a storm happens. But from a lot of articles and pieces I've read, many residents still don't feel safe. A lot of talk about the water drainage on Puerto Rico is not very good. It's kind of been neglected through history because it's only done as a port, gold port, rich port. Sorry. Infrastructure is also a large issue. Here's some images of the damage done. I'd like to point out the bottom image there, the torn American flag and the Puerto Rico flag on the right. Kind of represents how Puerto Rico felt about the United States after, whoever you want to blame. But the U.S. didn't send money right away. It was actually 3 years later, which I'll show in the next slide here. So on the 18th of September 2020, the United States federal government granted Puerto Rico $13 billion as part of emergency powers. I mean, emergency there, come on, 3 years later. That's just what I think. I know this money was all granted to the federal government, 11 and a half actually, so they can spread the wealth how they want. Why is this? Many things: politics, logistics, lack of governing in the states not getting anything done, maybe lack of governing in Puerto Rico, not prioritizing things correctly. There's a lot of things the public doesn't know about. That sucks, but we have to just accept it. And here are my sources for this slide. Thanks for listening.